In this video, I'm building a huge underground survival bunker with tons of cool rooms for Bob and his friends in order to survive the end of LEGO City as we know it. But how did this happen? Well, you remember the video where Bob time traveled? It created a branch timeline where President Business made free building illegal so that everyone would be forced to buy his generic housing.
Look, this one's tan with nougat, and this one's nougat with tan. They're so unique.
But everyone knew he was just jealous of other people's builds. So jealous, in fact, that President Business engineered a war that would wipe out the entire city, which really helped to sell his generic houses with pre-installed Fallout bunkers. And if you've ever played the video game or watched the popular Netflix show Fallout, well, that was the source of my inspiration for this story. But in our story, Bob isn't a vault dweller. Nope. He's a free builder, and Bob and his other friends are going underground to create the coolest and most sustainable Fallout shelter of all time. We'll call it Bob's Survival Bunker. Okay, we'll work on the name. The goal is to create a bunker with food, beds, a kitchen, a bathroom, and recreation rooms so they don't go insane. Bob had always wanted to create a secret gaming room, and now was his chance. So he went all out buying this really cool desk with a mini fridge, a $10,000 PC rig with 3 monitors, and this sweet gaming chair that can recline. There's also a huge TV for Mario Kart parties, and a cat. And now we have our first room, but all this talk of war had created some lawless thieves on the surface.
Are you serious right now?
So we need to equip ourselves with some serious defenses in this next room. Bob installed this steel-grated flooring, reinforced concrete bunker walls, and quickly got to work on decorating this framed piece of art. This wall is for melee weapons and some tactical armor, and we'll also need a workbench to clean out the barrels and reload magazines. Now that we've got defenses taken care of, let's build a water chamber that can recycle the water in the base and filter out radiation and other nasty stuff that contaminates water. Yes, this is slime, because putting water inside of Lego just gets everywhere since Lego's not watertight. As it turns out though, Lego isn't slime tight either, so I couldn't keep it in the chamber for very long as it slowly started to ooze out. There's a control panel to operate this system and a broom because this room does get messy. Speaking of getting messy, we're gonna need a bathroom. And the first use for this recycled water is this natural rock waterfall and one of those rain showers. There's also a luxurious toilet and a brass faucet sink along with the bougie artwork of a ship at sea. Now that makes for a spacious bathroom, and Bob's gonna do the honors of blowing this one up. Because in this next room, we're gonna need fertilizer because we're growing a garden. Bob got to work on planting his favorite fruits and veggies and made a strawberry patch, planted some melons, and of course planted his family heirloom tomato plants, which grow incredibly fast. I guess all these will grow with UV light though, since there isn't any sunlight underground, which leads us to our next major problem. Now that we have defense, water, and food taken care of, just how does this base get power? Well, as Bob dug deeper and deeper into the ground, it got colder and colder. Wait, what the heck is this? Let's get that out of the way. He found an ultra-rare frozen biome powered by this blue crystal called palladium, which has the ability to create free energy. Get it? It's cold fusion? I got this idea from the show, but cold fusion is a real theory that unfortunately can't be replicated successfully in real life. But it exists in Bob's survival bunker, and unfortunately so do germs. So here's some medicine just in case you catch a cold down here. Bob installed the lab to harness the power of cold fusion and produce power cells, and now that we have our source of unlimited power, let's use it to— Whoa, is that a Wampa? I think we kicked him out of his icy room. Why don't you, go find some nice smelly tauntauns to play with? Because we've got water to freeze. That's right, a cold fusion reactor also makes for an ideal refrigeration system, so Bob got the hose and flooded the floor so that the water would freeze nice and smooth to create a surface you can skate on. Then he added some glass panel boards in and made it curved, just like an ice rink, and now that it's ready, let's see if he has any skating skills. I guess he's a little rusty, but now he can practice skating drills, stick handling, and shooting, and of course, it wouldn't be hockey without hitting. Nice. Now this rink is ready to use, and we're just over halfway done with the survival base. But something pretty essential that we don't have yet is a place to actually cook food. So first I built this smart fridge with a touchscreen, and then I added in a sink and an oven with a stovetop range, and it has this stone backsplash. Over here there's floating shelves with utensils and some ingredients for a hearty stew. I also added in some junk food too, because they have a long shelf life. There's another cupboard, and there's a prep table with a basket of fruit, a bunch of sweets. But the best part is this butler droid that can bring you food and beverages anywhere in the base. Another room that's pretty essential is a sleeping quarters, and since I can't make enough beds for everyone, we're gonna represent the rooms with bunk beds, which are built using sideways bricks, which makes a really simple and clean design. Now we need a wardrobe. So we got a couple different shirts and pants for different activities that you can do in the base. There's a shelf with a stand for a guitar, and I added in a nightstand with drawers, and this room actually turned out to be pretty cozy. Now this is gonna be on top of the kitchen, which is going to magically appear inside the base right about now. Wow! But we've still got room for something cool right here. As we've established, there's not a lot of sunlight underground, which means there's no green grass. Something that Bob and his friends love to do is grill out and play yard games. So this next room is called the backyard, and it's super tall to incorporate this rock wall, which is something that Bob loved to do before. There's tons of different routes that extend onto the other walls and even a self-repeller. This is a really fun yard game in the Midwest. It's called cornhole, and you try to throw beanbags onto a slanted board and land it in the cornhole. Another really fun game that doesn't take up a lot of space is ping pong, and this one uses a great piece for the net. And with these games added, it really feels like there's a backyard even underground. And what's even crazier than having a backyard underground is a swimming pool. You can make the surface of water in Lego with sideways bricks or glass panes, and that way you can see stuff under the water.
Hi, how are you?
Above water, we've got a diving board, this really fun pool floaty, and even a huge water slide. And now this base is starting to feel like a pretty fun place. Cannonball! Oh dang, that was an actual cannon. And you don't get guns like these from just sitting in the pool. Let's build a huge gym so that Bob and the boys can make some gains and get ready for whatever lies on the surface. First, we need a vending machine with pre-workout and prime. Then we need a punching bag to take out all of your anger when you lose in ping pong. If you add a screen to one of these bikes, you can make it look like a stationary exercise bike. This is a weight rack, and although the weights all look exactly the same, they totally have different weights. And of course, we have the big boy bench with a loaded rack. Always use a spotter, guys. And don't wimp out on cardio. This may look like a goofy treadmill, but it can run faster than you can. There's also a smoothie station for post-recovery, and with all this equipment installed, I'd say the gym is complete. But we've still got one more drill to run, a literal drill, which is gonna lead us to our last and final room that we have room for. This is gonna be our movie theater, and you know Bob loves Star Wars, so we hung up a couple of cool movie posters and moved in this life-size Phase 1 Captain Rex model, a small popcorn machine, and tons of snacks and drinks. Lastly, the projector is placed overhead, which is the perfect thing to have underground because you get great sound and picture quality. And with all of these rooms ready to go, all the free builders were able to escape from the surface war and take refuge down in this awesome bunker. But can they really withstand nuclear fallout from President Business's war? This is definitely something that we should test, so be sure to comment what we should try dropping on the bunker to simulate nuclear fallout. Otherwise, we didn't even need to make this bunker. So whichever comment gets the most likes will determine what happens in part 2 of this video. So stay tuned, make sure to hit the like button, and until then, go free build something.